Hey, today I'm going to set up a table because I'm going to go out to play a game this evening. So I'm just doing a video on how I set up a table and how much terrain I think is good for a table. I'm going to use the terrain for the Danish Bolt Action Association's library, which I have standing here on my shelf. This is actually terrain that people here in Denmark can borrow for free and take home and play a game with. So I'm going to set down my mic on the table, and then I'm going to set up a table while I talk you through what it is that I do. That's the video. Right? Let's do it. Right. So let's see. I'll put it here, but I may move the mic around a little bit while I'm doing this. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself the table for the terrain here. I'll get the terrain for the table here, and I'll take all the... There's also this very nice building being constructed. So that goes on the table. Of course, my wire here is in the way. And a bunch of buildings. So this is going to be a southern Italian / northern African village, because I'm going to use some of my northern African ruins along with these buildings. They sort of fit in nicely, have a little bit of a Mediterranean feel to them. So yeah, that will work. It's going to be a city board / yeah. And let's see, I can just grab myself a little church. A fountain, I think, also needs to go there. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of terrain. I will do one more building. Quite a lot of buildings for this table, but many of them are ruins, so that works. I think I'll set this up and then figure out whether I want one more building on the table. Now, what I typically want to do is I want to sort of make different areas of the table. This is something that Michael Christensen has said that I should do in many of my tables, and I sort of agree that it's good to have different areas that can do different things, right? So I'll try to not give direct lines across the table, so I'm going to try and set it all up in sort of a diagonal. Right. Maybe with a little alley down between these houses here. I think I want a road running down here. So I'm going to do like it's a city street somewhere, with alleys between the buildings. Like that. And I think perhaps a ruined building somewhere here. Right. So I'm going to make a road here and go down there, and then each side can have a bit of the road. That is going to work. Now, I'm going to have to block off some more of this table here, but perhaps I want a little plaza here in the center. So I'll put the fountain and I'll put the church nearby. Yeah, those two will work fine. Maybe a ruined building along the plaza here, or two. I'll remove it a little bit from the edges, because I want there to be a little bit of room for people to deploy their troops in. I'll put down another of my ruins here. Yeah. This can work. So, In order for this to like have a more realistic feel to it as well, I'm going to have to do some work with linear obstacles, I think. So I'll need walls and stuff like that. And I'm just going to see what I have in my different boxes. I have a whole box of palm trees. Some of these might go on the table, but it feels more like Italy, like Sicily for me. So maybe not so many of the palm trees. But here we go. I have a box full of linear walls. These are going to go well. So they're going to go on the table, and I'll take all one kind. So I like to have one kind of linear obstacles on a table, so that maybe two, so that it doesn't mix too much. Although I know it would be realistic for there to be several different types of walls on a table. My aesthetic likes it there to be one type, maybe two, because it just looks better to me anyway. Right, these walls I think could do nicely, because I think I want to do something with forests or something over here. So this will be walled off like you would typically find in an Italian village somewhere. That there would be walls around each plot or something. So here I'll make a church wall running down the side here. I'll leave a little gap because I saw that I had one very large tomb of some sort. That's going to go in the gap. Actually make the gap here, like that. Because I've seen that happen sometimes. Then we need a few more bits of the wall here. Maybe go all the way to there. Yeah. That looks good. Like that. So now the church has a wall. I have another fountain. Should I put another fountain down somewhere? Potentially, yeah. I think I should. Just because they look cool. And I made these, so I want them to be on my tables. I'm going to put it here. Right now I'm trying to find a balance in the different areas of the terrain here. This table is going to have more terrain than I would normally suggest that you put on tournament tables, I guess. But I think they're going to look nice. And it's not for a tournament. I'm just going to go play a game, but it is training for the next upcoming tournament here in Denmark. So I have a few bits and bobs. This, by the way, is a small statue of a Saint Mary, bought in Italy, and just mounted it on a plinth, and then it's a statue for my games. I often do that when I go, like when I travel abroad. I just pick up small stuff that can easily be part of my terrain. So Mary is going to sit there. I'm going to have a few slabs of tombstones in my churchyard here. And then I have all these telephone poles, which, you know, are going to go along the road. But I think I should first get myself the road. So I am going to look in my box of roads. Whole box of roads. In my club, we made these at one point. We just like sat down and said, okay, what do we need? And just built all the things that we needed. These have many linear pieces, but also quite a lot of turns. I don't need all the turns all the time. Right now, I just need a road to go straight down that way, right? So I'm wondering where I put it, because It's not all here. Ah, there's something in this box. Here we go. Now, what I really want to do here is to make sure that each side has equal access to the road and that there is at least one turn in the road, because you don't want a straight road going straight across the table, because that will mean that you're going to give one player, if you're playing like envelopment, double envelopment, somebody might take advantage of that one road, right? Going down. So here we go. Right, I'm going to do like this. I really like all these different pieces because they give me the opportunity of going and hitting the edges of the board better. Not always like completely straight and everything, but a little bit better than I would otherwise. So it's really nice having a bunch of different angles available, because I don't always set these up like perfectly aligned with whatever I'm doing at the time. But it more or less fits. Right. There's a trade-off here, of course, between how good it looks and how realistic it looks. No, sorry, not how realistic, like how good it looks and how good it is to play on. That was what I meant to say. Right, now I want these telegraph poles to run down the road, but they should not run on the side where they could be an annoyance for gameplay. So I'm going to try and put them over here. And one more down here. Yeah. I don't need all of them, I think. That should be good. Now, I made a bunch of signposts recently. These are going on the table as well. Not all of them, but quite a few. And I also recently made a bunch of these jungle bits. Maybe I'll use some of them as well. This won't be jungly, but it will be like Mediterranean, where you sometimes have patches of lush vegetation and sometimes you just like have arid ground. So that goes there. Goes there. I'm just pushing these around, placing them down somewhere where I know they can sort of add to the realism feel of the table. Like that. I often find that it's like small details that brings a table together and makes it feel like it's a real place, which is what we want. We want it to look and feel like it could be real, at least. So, should we get some fields or some forests? I am feeling forests here. I'm not feeling fields. Maybe just a couple of something, because I still have a few linear obstacles I might want to place down. little nice wooden booths of something. They could easily go down. One of them here, the other one here. Like there's been a market day. Then we need a little bit more of the linear obstacles, I think, just to mark out the different areas of terrain here in the city. Like that. Yes, yes, that works for me. Now we have sort of a backyard here that I think needs a tree, something to like make you feel like it was a garden at some point. Let me see if I got anything that could go well. Most of these trees are not really suited for Mediterranean climes. Many of them are like pines. Doesn't really work. But there are a few here. Yeah, that one as well. Okay, right. I'll scatter a few trees about the place. These are mostly there to just mark out that something is here. So like this big one that looks kind of pruned, that goes there. And then I have an apple tree of some sort, I think, which would look really nice down here, wouldn't it? Yeah, like that. Okay, now what did I write? I was going to build some woods, weren't I? So I'm going to grab myself a small hill here and a couple of shapes. These are all MDF boards that I've just flocked and painted. And I think in order to actually cover this board, I think I might need 5 small shapes. So that's what I'm getting. Might want to change one of these up with another hill so I get 2 hills. Yeah, I'll just do that. Take the big one off. Right. Now, I don't actually have trees for all of these, but I'll use all of these nice little danky bits. And a couple of trees, and then there'll be forests. Now, why do I want to do this? Because, well, I don't want there to be like line of sight everywhere on this board. I want there to be some areas where you have line of sight. There are some areas that are blocked, some areas that are quite dense and cluttered, and some areas that are more open. So I'm going to put down the hills here. One hill here, one hill there. No, the other way around, because there's a lot of dense terrain on that side, right? So I want there to be a little bit more of a balance. I want the hill over here, smaller hill over here. And then I'll put down a block, a few lines of sight here, and the final one goes there. Right, that is it. Now I'm going to see if I can find some nice little patches of things growing to put down. It's really nice having you know, adequate supplies of nice green things for your tables. So I'm just putting these down. Right. I'll add a few green bits to the, I guess, the wall of the church here, because stuff might grow around. Again, I'm just adding a little bit of character around the table here so that some of the spots can actually look a little bit more lived in. Finally, I have a small box left of lichen, which I'm going to distribute around, much of it being used on the forests so that they're easily recognizable as forests. These could be clumps of bushes and stuff growing here. Right, that is very easily recognizable. I'll put the rest down around the village, some of it here in the churchyard, because that would be a place where you had a few bushes and greens growing, right? Yeah, looks good. I also think that these corners down here maybe lack a little something, so some of it is going here. I'm going to try and block off some of the lines here, giving a little bit of cover to whoever goes there. I'm not sure who would. I have a handful left over here, which is also going to go, and I think it's going to go down here. Make a little line designating a place where two patches of ground were separated for some reason, right? This belongs to that house, which is being built, and the other thing belongs to this house, which is, yeah, like that. Okay. Right. So far, so good. What else do we need? I still may need a little something down here. And there's a quite open patch over there, which I think we should do something about. And my gut feeling is mats. We're going to place down a few of these mats, making it into like tilled ground, rough ground. So these are fields, some sort, with patches of rough ground. Right. That, I think, is it for me. That is going to be the table I'm going to bring today to a game. So there are plenty of places to hide. If you want to be completely covered by line of sight blockers, you can move down into this area here, from this sector here. You can move in behind this ruin or the forest here. You can also easily drive up because there's loads of open ground here, so wheeled vehicles are not massively disadvantaged. But the lines here, the linear obstacles, are going to break up a central push of wheeled vehicles. There's the option of driving down that road. You're a little bit open here, but you will mostly have cover for the linear obstacles. I like that. If you go to the other side, options here are also good. You could go behind the forest here, like push your way up behind forest up towards the churchyard. You could jump from ruin to ruin here. You could go into the buildings and go through the central bit here. This bit here is a little open, especially from that corner, but I mean, can't get all the advantages to one side, can you? So that is my table for today. I hope you enjoyed this video of me setting up a table. I think this is a little more dense than I'm usually making my tables, but not massively so. So I will pack this up now and bring it to the next bit of gaming I'm going to do. See you next time. Cheers.